All right, I get it. So you're watching a tutorial. The instructor mentions terms like APIs, context, memorization, and you sitting here like, man, what in the world are you talking about? How am I supposed to remember all this stuff? I'm still learning. And here you go mentioning stuff. I don't have a clue what you're speaking of. Listen, we've all been there. Just breathe and relax. I can assure you it gets a lot better over time. But this feeling of being overwhelmed and having a lot going on and wanting to give up, we've all been there. But what I want to encourage you to do is don't give up. Continue to hang in there. It gets a lot easier. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I kind of recognize that can be beneficial to you as you're learning something new and you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed. Here are some of the things I want you to kind of keep in mind. The first thing is that initial feeling of feeling lost or not having a clue what the instructor or whatever it is that you're reading is speaking of. That initial feeling of being lost, it's normal. Everybody feels that way. I don't care what it is that you're learning. I don't care how long you've been learning. I don't care how educated you are. When you're exposed to something that you do not have a lot of experience in and is brand new, there's a level of discomfort that comes with that. And as you become more exposed to it and more comfortable, yes, that anxiety will begin to ease. So I don't want you to ever feel overwhelmed or get discouraged because of that feeling, because we all have been there. And I can assure you, if it is not coding, if you expose yourself to the medical industry, to some form of math or some form of literature that you've never been exposed to before, yes, you will feel overwhelmed, but it's okay. Just breathe, relax. There's going to be more comfort along the way as you continue to stick with it. The next thing I want you to understand is that the more exposure you get to this thing or this skill or this term or whatever it is that you're not familiar with, the more you're exposed to it, the easier it becomes. So that's the reason that I always encourage you to code as much as you can or practice as much as you can, because the more exposure you get to it, it will become a lot easier. You can't just rely on what you're reading or what you're digesting during a tutorial to be the end all be all of your learning. That's just the beginning of it. That's just exposing you to a new concept or exposing you to something that you're going to need along the way. It's going to be up to you to spend some time actually practicing, putting practical application in play, and trying different things with it to really become a master of your skill or a master of your craft. So do not shy away from putting in reps. Do not shy away from practicing, and don't just let the time that you spend in front of the tutorial be the last time that are exposed to whatever concept that's being taught, especially if your end goal is to be a programmer or a coder, someone that works in the industry. Then you want to make sure that you're a master of certain concepts. The last thing I want to share with you is that you don't have to know everything. It's okay to not be a master of everything as it relates to coding. If you are looking to be a web developer, specifically a front end web developer, yes, it's good to know about the back end. It's good to have a understanding of APIs, because you may have to manipulate data to display different content on screen. But you don't have to know as much as a back end engineer. You really only need to know what it is that your job requires of you to do, become a master of that. And then as you are a lifelong learner, which we all are, and as you continue to become more exposed to different coding concepts and different things in the industry, then yes, your skill set will grow. But initially starting out, if your passion is front end web development, then go be the best front end web developer that you can. You don't have to focus so much on knowing everything about the back end. Learn your CSS, learn your different CSS frameworks and different ways that you can manipulate that front end so the end user has a great experience. That's your passion. That's what you're going after. That's what you want to dive into. Don't be so caught up in what you don't know from the back end, or not having a full stack understanding, or not knowing about data structures and algorithms, when your end goal is just to be a front end web developer. Just focus on that, become great at that, and then eventually you can expand your wings and learn about more concepts that are a little more advanced that can help you grow as a developer. So regardless to where you are in your learning journey, regardless to what it is that you're exposed to, don't feel overwhelmed. That initial overwhelmed feeling is okay, but don't allow it to discourage you from your end goal of becoming a programmer or coding or finishing the job. The next thing is the more reps that you get with such concept that you're not familiar with, the better at it you'll be. So don't forget to practice, put practical implementation in play on what you learn. And then last but not least, you ain't got to know everything. If it's not relevant to what you're going to be doing, Yes, digest it, learn it, but don't spend too much time on it because ultimately your goal is to do something else. Leave a comment of what exactly got you a little flustered, or what was your big aha when you first began to code, and what kind of helped you calm down and get through some of those difficult moments. I'd love to hear more about it. All right. Thanks for checking me out today. I'll see you in the next one.